We've been reporting on what is being called a monumental miscarriage of justice this week against two Texas Border Patrol agents. The Border Patrol agents faced as much as 20 years in prison for pursuing a Mexican drug smuggler who was freed and then granted full immunity from prosecution by the Justice Department in exchange for his testimony against the two Border Patrol agents. Tonight, we talk exclusively with Border Patrol agent Jose Campion, who is speaking out for the first time about this case and fighting to clear his name. Casey Wyan has the report from El Paso, Texas.
Jose Campion has been a Border Patrol agent for 5 years. Before that, 4 years in the United States Navy. Now he could spend the next 20 in federal prison for trying to do his job, apprehending an illegal alien drug smuggler.
It's just been very disappointing. You know, you risk your life out there. Did it for 5 years, and something like this happens, and it's over.
Over because even if his conviction is overturned on appeal, Campion believes his law enforcement career is finished. What's worse, he faces decades of separation from his two children and his wife, Claudia. She's expecting their third child shortly after Campion's sentencing date later this month.
I'm angry. I'm sad. I'm appalled. I mean, just all the emotions all at once. I can't believe this is happening. He's never been in trouble with the Navy, with Border Patrol. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Campion was one of several Border Patrol agents following an admitted drug smuggler along this stretch of border near Fabens, Texas. Campion says smugglers often avoid capture because of the Border Patrol's policy limiting pursuits.
When there are drugs coming in, there's a load coming through, they're not going to stop. Most of the time they'll turn around and head back to the river, and they'll go as fast as they can just to get away. And right from there, all we do is just back off because we know where they're going.
After the smuggler ditched his van in this canal, he ran over a hill.
I guess unlucky for me, I was there waiting for him that day.
The smuggler scuffled with the agent, then ran toward Mexico. Campion thought he had a gun and fired, missing. Agent Ignacio Ramos was still in the canal and heard the shots. He too thought the smuggler had a gun and also fired. The smuggler disappeared into the Rio Grande and reemerged on the Mexican side. Both agents thought he was uninjured. Because of that, neither agent filed a report that shots were fired, one reason both faced long prison terms today. Several other Border Patrol agents on the scene also heard the gunshots and didn't report them. They received immunity from prosecution. So did the drug smuggler, who it turns out was shot in the buttocks. Campion's attorney still struggles to understand the verdict.
I really believe that the evidence showed that Mr. Campion and Mr. Ramos were two Border Patrol agents doing their job, who had the right to carry a firearm and had the right to protect the border and who had the right to detain this drug smuggler. I can't believe that a jury would convict my client of that offense, of assault with a weapon, a civil rights violation, and I can't imagine what went wrong at the trial.
The Campions have had to sell their house, move in with relatives, and are about to have their car repossessed. Jose made about $70,000 a year as a Border Patrol agent. Now they're living on Claudia's $7 an hour job as a clerk, dreading the day Jose goes to prison.
You know, the kids have school, so I'm thinking, should I send them to school? Should I not? I'm going to come home, open that door without their dad. What am I going to say? The baby's due next month. I have to do that by myself. It's just overwhelming.
What angers Campion most is a statement he says was made by prosecuting U.S. Attorney Deborah Kanoff, implying his actions were a betrayal of his Mexican heritage.
She mentioned that it's gotten so bad that it made us turn against one of our own.
He turned against one of his own. But I'm sorry, that smuggler's not one of his own.
The U.S. Attorney's Office continues to decline our interview requests because the case is pending. Campion says he's received lots of support from individual Border Patrol agents, many of whom attended his trial. And his union has set up a legal defense fund for both agents. Lou.
And that legal defense fund will be put together by Monday. And we just want to say to everyone who is interested in supporting the agents and their defense fund, their legal defense fund, that we will be putting that number up here and where those contributions to their defense fund can be sent. Casey, if you would, stand by, because we have, although U.S. Attorney Johnny Sutton has not agreed yet, and he is prescribed from doing so by the conventions of the legal process, not to join us here on this broadcast to discuss the case. He did release a statement. And here's what U.S. Attorney Johnny Sutton did say tonight about the conviction of Border Agents Ramos and Campion in part. He said the defendants were prosecuted because they had fired their weapons at a man who had attempted to surrender by holding his open hands in the air, at which time Agent Campion attempted to hit the man with the butt of Campion's shotgun, causing the man to run in fear of what the agents would do to him next. Although both agents say that the man was not armed, the agents fired at least 15 rounds at him while he was running away from him, hitting him once. Sutton goes on to say, quote, based on all of the evidence admitted at the 2-week trial, including the lengthy testimony of both the defendants, the jury of 12 citizens heard all of the testimony, judged the demeanor and credibility of the witnesses, and unanimously found both defendants guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of 11 of the 12 counts alleged in the indictment, including assault with a dangerous weapon, assault with serious bodily injury, discharge of a firearm during the commission of a crime of violence, and willfully violating Aldrate Davia's constitutional Fourth Amendment right to be free from illegal seizure, as well as obstructing justice by intentionally defacing the crime scene, lying about the incident, and failing to report the truth. Casey, in the record that the suspect, the smuggler, raised his hands, that was incontrovertibly demonstrated?
It wasn't demonstrated as a fact, Lou. That's what the prosecution alleges. Of course, the agents, both of them, say something completely different. That's one of the big issues that came to the front at the trial. Obviously, the jury believed the testimony of the drug smuggler and those Border Patrol agents who escaped, as far as we know, any punishment for their actions that day. The question it doesn't answer, though, is why the prosecution went after these two agents with such fervor.
And let's look at one other thing that U.S. Attorney Johnny Sutton said in his statement. At the time of the shooting, neither Agent Campion nor Agent Ramos knew that the van driven by Aldrate Davia contained 743 pounds of marijuana. The evidence was uncontroverted that, at the time the victim was shot, neither agent knew whether the driver was legally in the United States or whether a crime had been committed. The only information they had was that the driver had failed to pull over to be identified. The last statement seems rather important, doesn't it?
It seems rather important, and it completely contradicts what the agents and their attorneys and what the record reflects. The fact is that this pursuit began, according to the agents, after one of the Border Patrol sensors was tripped by this van. And it was in an area that is common for drug smugglers to use. And the drug smuggler was attempting to evade the agents who had their lights on. So they had all kinds of indications that this guy was a drug smuggler, and as it turned out, he was.
When you say the lights on, we're talking about the flashers that any motorist
Right.
in the country knows, suggest that you pull over rather quickly. Casey, thank you. This is a story that we're going to be following through the days and the weeks ahead, and you will be in El Paso for some time as we try to get to the bottom of what is going on here. And the U.S. Justice Department has an opportunity to make us all understand why two Border Patrolmen and not a drug smuggler are the victim in this case. Casey, thank you. Casey Wine reporting from El Paso, Texas. As we mentioned, the National Border Patrol Council has set up a donation fund for agents Ignacio Ramos and Jose Campion. You can send a check to the Border Patrol agents, Ramos and Campion Relief Fund. That's Post Office Box 47208, Tampa, Florida, area code 33646. Those checks should be made payable to the Border Patrol agents, Ramos and Campion Relief Fund. This address is also now posted on our website, loudobbs.com. And we have also posted the U.S. Attorney's statement, Johnny Sutton, that is also posted on our website, and we just want to make sure that you have that opportunity if you'd like to read that in detail as well. By the way, we have continuously asked and invited the Assistant U.S. Attorney, Deborah Kanoff, the federal prosecutor in this case, to join us on this broadcast. We still await her response, and we still, of course, keep that invitation open.